record.
Or do we wait more? No.
No, let's let
We
start.
start, Malcolm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
as this will be. Okay. Thank you very much for coming to listen to me a little bit. Okay. I will try to explain a little bit more the model for the association related to the standard. And also I have prepared a draft of some figures, some numbers that we are obtaining of incomes in our association here in Spain, okay? And that we will share also with you. But take into account that this figure that we will talk at the end, we will need to move a little bit accordingly with each country, okay? So the first thing is to explain very quickly the total model, okay? Any questions, please ask me directly, okay? We go ahead, okay? I suppose you are looking now to my presentation. You don't look at me, but you see my presentation. Why shall I get accredited to the purchasing standard? UNE 15896. Are you looking at this?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I go ahead. Well, this is a presentation that we are using here in Spain, okay, to explain to different sectors and different people what is the standard, okay? So I have thought that this could be interesting also for us to understand very quickly what's going on with the standard, okay? So this standard, as you know, we did the kickoff meeting in 2007, 10 years ago. After 2 meetings, we did the public announcements in 2008, and then we obtained, wait a minute, here it's, yes, here. We obtained in 2010 the transposition of this standard that we created in Brussels into Spain. This is something important. We can use the CWA that we developed in Brussels in any part of the world, okay, in any country. But if you want, we can do a translation into your country, okay? And we could obtain a standard in your country related to the CWA that we did in Brussels, okay? If you want to do that, okay? This is something that we prefer to do because the CWA was issued in English and we wanted to obtain it in Spanish. So we convert this into a standard in Spanish, okay? That is what we have now, okay? We continue doing the presentation in all Spain, and in 2011 we gave the first seminar related to the CWA or the standard, okay? And something very important is that we created this standard to any country and to any function of purchasing to any company, okay? What happened that, for example, if a certification body like AENOR or AFNOR or another certification body want to create a certification for a company accordingly with this standard, they can do it just now. But they will not issue this certification, this certificate, with the name that has been made accordingly with IFPSM terms, okay? If a certification body wants to accredit a company with this standard and in this certificate, they won't appear or use IFPSM, they are forced to use the experts that we have prepared to do that, okay? And this is what happened in 2012, okay, in 2012, we created the first promotion of experts in the standard, okay? We are the only one, the Association of Purchasing, we are the only one that can prepare the experts for this standard, okay? So if a certification body wants to go to a company to issue his certificate, they are obliged to use experts that we have given courses to them. Okay, so we did the first promotion in 2012. As you can see, 2013, 2014, 15, 16, and 17, we have done one, two, or three promotions of experts. Okay, I will come back again to this. Okay, what is this standard? This standard, it is not only the wording that we created in Brussels, okay? The wording that we created in Brussels, we decided to do it in a very high level, okay? And very simple to understand. The most important thing is it is the correct interpretation of that wording. And this correct interpretation, it's what we give to the experts, okay? To these promotions that we have created with the experts, the correct interpretation of the standard, okay? And in the next slides, I have included some explanation. For example, we have here that it is the most extent of these requirements. These are referred to organization, processes, technology, people, administrative control, and results. We have called this PUMA, Procurement Unit Maturity Assessments. And everything related to this PUMA, everything, we have created a program with the company ADR, we have created a program where we have included all the questions related to each one of these topics, okay? It is more than 700 different questions, okay? We have just done that in Spanish and also in English, okay? And this is what we want to share with you also, okay, with all the association. In the next slides, I explain in more detail one of each of these sectors, okay? You can see here organizations, and in the next slide, we can see that for organization, we go to different aspects. Management commitment, strategy alignment, cost control, relationship management, customer management, vision, mission, okay? And all of these also related to roles and responsibilities, purchasing structure, transparency, code of conduct, sustainability, policies, and targets. This is also a very high level, but it is only for you to understand that each one of the sector goes to in more details, okay? Okay, I will not go now to each one of these, obviously, but only for you to present what this means, okay? This is the part of processes, this is the part of technology, of people, okay? Administrative control and results, okay? So, do you understand until now what I have explained? Any question?
When you talk about experts, will you describe what you mean later, Jose?
Yes, the expert is, for example, a person, a freelance that wants to be converted into an expert in the right interpretation of the purchasing standard. So these people is a people that is forced to pass an exam that we give formation in English or in Spanish. We give to them formation and then they do an exam. If they pass this exam, he is converted into an expert. Okay, And then, for example, a company want to be prepared to pass the certification. So he can do a contract with this expert to be prepared, okay, to obtain the certification. When the company is prepared, the company must ask a certification body to obtain the certification, okay? So the certification body needs an auditor, but this auditor also must be an expert. It is to say that this auditor from the certification body also must go to our course, to our formation course, to be auditor expert, okay? So he can go to the company that has been prepared to do the official audit system to obtain the certification. So imagine that you are a consultant company, okay? You are a consultant company, and then you sign a contract with the association of purchasing because they want to be also a consultant company to prepare companies to obtain this certificate, this certification. This consultant company also is obliged to prepare experts, consultants expert, that must go to our courses to obtain the degree of expert, okay? Obviously, in each part of this, they must pay the course, they must pay the books, and they must pay the exam. In each of these parts, the association obtain money. And the most important for this, and that is why AERCE has promoted experts every year, is that the certification of experts only is for 3 years. Every 3 years, these experts are obliged to pass an update course, okay? Only of 5 hours. We have done it only of 5 hours, and it is now 500 euro, these 5 hours. But for example, for the last 3 years in AERCE here in Spain, we have a median of nearly 20-25 experts that are obliged to do the update course. It is to say that every year you are sure you will have that, that course to give. And obviously it's all prepared. All the consultant companies that have experts, all the certification bodies that have experts, all the freelance people that wanted to be this degree of expert are forced every 3 years to pass to these courses. So if you have promotion of this expert every year, you will have them for the next years, okay? And always obtaining money, okay? This is the explanation of the experts, okay? So if I continue a little bit more.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes, yes.
Do I understand correctly that the company who wants to have this certification is certified by an official certification body in your country? And
yes,
the auditors has to be the experts
yes,
trained by the association.
yes,
Is it
yes,
correct?
yes.
So it means that the certification bodies are already interested or also interested in having this certification done by the companies.
Obviously.
So, and
For
it
example,
means that in Spain you have many companies who want this certification?
yes, we well, not very much, because we have really begun only 3 years ago, because we needed to prepare the course for the experts.
Yeah.
We needed to prepare the course for the auditors. We needed to prepare the books. We need to prepare the informatic system. We have just done everything. So in the last 3 years, today, we have now 10 companies certificated, okay?
Oh,
and wait, and in this year, 2017, we will have 10 more companies, 10 more companies. What this means that these companies are obliged to maintain the certificate they have obtained every year. So every year they are obliged to ask the certification bodies, the experts of the certification, Yes, and each time they obtain this, they are forced to use our tool, informatic tool. Obviously, they need to pay, of course.
Okay.
It is easy. And also what happened that it is so complicated, the certification that we have created, it is so complicated that normally this company also need the consultant companies to be prepared every 2 or 3 years. Also, these consultant companies need to update, the experts need to use the informatic tool and so on. And also they need to go to our courses to obtain information to prepare the companies. The good thing is that the association control everything.
Okay.
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 So you have the certification, you have the company who wants to be certified, you have the certification body, you have the consultant company, and everyone who is employing an auditor has to be an expert trained by the association. Yes. So this is the model.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, that's right. That's right. The good thing is, and why the association? Because the association, it's the only one that can do this, because it's the only one that doesn't care if you obtain or not obtain the certification. It is to say, the consultant company, he wants that you obtain the certification. The certification body also wants. It is to say that they are involved in the business model, but the association is not. We are completely free. And that's why it's important for us to be here. That's why the companies and the world of purchasing wants us to be here. Because, for example, with the ISO of quality or something like that, we don't like very much all the companies, and we think that we don't obtain a lot of profitable things from the ISO, because at the end, it is a business that they have created. The certification bodies has created this, because they form part of this model. That's why our model can be good, because we are not part of the model. We sustained the model. Obviously, we need to earn money, obviously, but we sustain the model. That is why the certification bodies, the companies, consultants, and the freelance are happy that we are the one who control this.
Okay. Let me jump in with a question, if you don't mind. This is Mariusz Garałtowski speaking from Poland.
Hello.
My question is about this. Hi there. My question is about this financing model, because obviously it is a barrier. On one hand, that the entry, the price for the certification, and then to every year to maintain the certification. And I also understand the pricing is individual per market. Now, in your scheme in Spain, what's the proportion of the fee between the certification fee, so the one that you pay in the year one, and then annual fee to sustain it? So what's the proportion of one to another?
Okay, it's okay. Obviously, depends on the company, because we are using the same table than ISO is using for the certifications. Okay, so depending on the company, the size of the company, depending on the type of function of purchasing, it is different. If you have a centralized system or a decentralized system, you need more days for the consultant, more days for the certification, and so on. But we have tried, and also the certification bodies and the consultant company, we have tried to give not big prices. For example, and I'm talking about real figures. A certification scheme, certification body for a very big company, perhaps for the first audit, the company must pay no more than 8,000 euro or 7,000 euro for the first audit, okay? And the certification body, I am talking, the cost for the company. In company not so big, perhaps it is only 4,000 or 5,000 euro, okay? And what is the cost that they pay of this 4,000 or 8,000 to us for using the informatic tool? For example, only 700. We want to share with you, with the other associations, of these 700, obviously we need to do the model for each country, okay? But just for you to have figures. Of these 700, 150 is for AERCE, 150 is for IFPSM, and the rest is for you, okay? Wait a minute. Have you understood?
Yes, I
Hello?
understand. I understand the scheme. I think the adaptation to the local market will be important, but that's a separate conversation. So thank you very much for the explanation.
But this is only a very tiny part of all the model, okay? Mm-hmm. This is only a very tiny part of all the model, because obviously where we obtain much more money in the courses of the experts, okay? Obviously, for example, for a consultant company, imagine that he wants to obtain an expert. The course to be converted into an expert, it is between 4,000 and 6,000 euro, okay? Between 4,000 and 6,000 euro, okay? And once he obtains, this is for to be an expert. Then every year, this expert, every 3 years, this expert must do another course of only 500 euro, okay? That's why for us, the most important thing, it is that a consultant company wants to have 2, 3, or 4 experts, okay? And then we reduce the cost of these 4,000, 6,000 to perhaps, okay, if you have only one, you pay 5,000. If you give to us 2 experts, then you will pay 8,000 only for the 2 experts, okay? We are now doing this. For example, we have a company, full step, okay, that a consultant company, they decided to contract with us 25 experts. 25 experts in one time, and they are preparing now more than 30 companies in Spain, and some of them have just obtained, 2 of them have just obtained the certificate, but most of them are being prepared, and they need at least a preparation of 1 or 2 years of consultant projects. They are doing these consultant projects, but every 3 years, these 25 experts they will be forced to come to us to receive this update course of 500 euro per each, you know? So the revenue, the income, the net income we obtain AERCE in 3 years, in 2 years, will be amazing only for these 20 experts. Obviously, the consultant company has just recuperated in less than 8 months the cost of this course of expert for this 2025, because they have signed agreements with companies to be prepared. Some of them will obtain the certification, some of them only wants to be prepared. That's all, because it's good enough for the consultant things, okay? But again, this is only one part. Yes.
Jose, it's Malcolm. I'll turn my camera back on. I'm just interested in the concept. So what I think you're suggesting is that an association can benefit from all the work that AERCA, the Spanish Association, have done to develop all the collateral, and take that and promote the standard, promote to potential consultant companies, and through them to experts, and deliver the training programs and benefit from a share of the income. Is that a reasonable summary?
That's right. That's right. Everything that we have done, we can sign a contract with any association, and we will not appear. In the country will appear the association of the country, not AERCE, okay? In the back will be AERCE, ADR, everything. Imagine also in this course that I have said, you have perhaps teachers, okay? They can be included in this course, obviously. Or you want to include some other subject, okay? We can manage that, okay? Obviously, for us, the most important thing is to obtain income of your success, okay, in each country. And for example, I go to the extreme, the most easiest thing. Imagine that you do a annual congress, okay, where will go 150 people or 200 people, okay. And because of the agreement we have done, we ask the people that go to the congress that if they pay, for example, 400, 500 euro, they could obtain a self-assessment using our tool directly, okay? And then they will know where they are accordingly with the requirements of the standard. And they will decide if they want to be prepared to go to the maximum level or not. But only for using this tool, we obtain revenues, we obtain incomes, only to use this, and there is no cost. It's only because the tool is just prepared. We only give to you the link, and the people that want pay, and they will know where they are. If, for example, there are 5 companies that want to be prepared, we can give the expert of a consultant companies from Spain, or we can prepare in your countries consultant companies with experts. Okay, we can move everything. Okay, yeah. This is in the extreme. Obviously, I have prepared, it's what I wanted to show you. We have prepared a business model with the association. We have said, okay, we could go 3 days to your country. My people will go 3 days to your country. We can see the members you have. We can see everything, and only with we have planned for these 3 days 7,000 euros, something like that, to prepare a model, a business case for your country, and put it in function. Okay, with one of the most important thing for the association is that perhaps you could give us contact of consultant companies that wanted to be interested in this, and they could pay for you this cost, okay, of preparing the business model in the country. Because obviously this consultant company for that country will be the only one who will obtain the experts immediately. So they are the only one who can sign contract with any country there, any company there that want to be certificated. Okay, this is, Malcolm, very important what I am going to say now, okay? Because I advise about these things several times, and the thing is that AERCE is moving this. And obviously, if comes here to AERCE, any consultant company from your country, we cannot say no to them to develop this in the country. This has just happened just now with Portugal. With Portugal, today we have 2 members of a consultant company that is now receiving the course to be expert, because they have obtained just now customers in Portugal that want to obtain the certification. So it is ridiculous for the Association of Purchasing in Portugal that they don't sign with us this, because at the end we will receive all the income directly, you know. But this is happening now, okay? This is happening now. This consultant company, because I gave a course 3 weeks ago in a public event talking about this, the benefits, the profits of this, okay, of the standard in the public sector, And 2 people from this consultant company listened to me. And in less than 3 weeks, they have paid more than 10,000 euro to receive a specific course to be experts, okay? Directly, they have paid that.
The call to action, for those that are interested and who are on this call is to have another discussion with you fairly quickly, because the risk is that companies in their countries may contact you, and quite rightfully, because you've made a big investment in developing all the collateral around the standard and the model. then you obviously have to take that business, but what you're offering is an opportunity to IFPSM members, if they
Yes.
want to work with you, to do that fairly quickly to ensure
Yes,
they
right.
get the share of the revenue.
Also in Taiwan, you know, when we talk in Slovenia, also they were very, very interested in this. Obviously, also in China, they were very, very interested. And because it is very easy to do this, because we have just done everything. We have just done everything. It's only to manage if you want or not to form part of this, okay?
Do you want to show that slide with the potential
Yes.
income model? Because there were some very interesting numbers I saw on that.
Okay, I go to there. If I can do it. This is only a draft, okay? Explanation of the business model. Obviously, what we offer is to go to a country and to do this explanation for the country. It's what we have said, that if we do all the study, it's 7,000 euro, and then we could go there to do the course of experts at the beginning. Or by the extreme, only to do an agreement with us, and then only to use the tool. Okay, this is you must not give any money and only give the name. Okay, so this is the business model. Is what I explain here. Okay, in the case that we do it completely, it's AERCE people goes to the country 3 days. Okay, 2 days of work, and we can create for 7,500 euro with travel cost, hotel and subsistence, the business model for the country. Is what I have said, that if we give to us contact of a consultant company, they could assume these costs, okay, and will be affordable for the association. If you do use this model, the second step will be to create experts, and this is the cost of the course with 4,000 euro plus travel cost. And the thing is to obtain in the country 2 or 3 certifying companies like Bureau Veritas, SGS, INOR, TÜV, etc. One important thing is that you don't need to have these things, because we have just offered to you to do everything with INOR, with Bureau Veritas, okay, in your country. But we are talking in this model that you do it there, okay? But if you don't want to do this, okay, we can create this for you, okay? So 10, 12 purchasing consultancies, companies, which already are inherent part of the model, okay? And the benefits implemented the standard must be explained to them. Okay, the whole process is jointly carried out in the consultancy phase, explaining the model and the associated benefits. Okay, starting to promote the topic on social network, breakfast meetings, or site events. If it is done currently, an average of 4 certified companies per year and 16 annually trained experts in consultancy, certification, and from the own company should be obtained, okay? These are the minimum we think an association can obtain. Accordingly, with this, we have the results of the numbers. And these are the numbers, okay? In the first year, you can see here, with the expenses, the self-assessment tool is what I have explained before, the audit tool, certification, okay? Imagine the expenses is 38,000. The income with this thing that we have said will be 74. So the profit will be 36. Wait a minute, 36,000. In year 2, accordingly, with this increase of these experts and certificated companies, could go to 107,000 euro. Okay, and this is in year 3, another 109,000, and so on, okay? These are, as I have said, a very quick model of figures, okay? You see here that the refreshment training every 3 years, we don't obtain anything in 1 and 2, in the first and the second year, but after the 3 year, we begin to have an income directly of 2,400. Okay, this we are obtaining in Spain not 2,400, but nearly 15,000 per year, okay? Even that we have only 8 certificated companies just now, okay? Okay, this is only, as I've said, a draft of figures, okay?
And this, if I can just, if you can go back to that slide, just so I understand, and perhaps others will understand as well. So those figures are an illustration of the potential, a fairly conservative potential of what an association might expect
Yes.
to have to invest and the return on that investment over a 5-year period. Yes?
Yes, that's right. This is a conservative model. This is a conservative model because we only think that only 4 companies will be certified in the first year, for example. And in the second year, another 4 or 5 companies again certified. Obviously, depending on the quantity of companies certified, this is increased very, very much. But it's what I have said, that it depends on the country, because perhaps we decide in that country to reduce the cost of the courses, to reduce the cost of the experts, and so on, because we want to promote a little bit more these things, okay? But the good thing, for example, in Portugal, is that the governments also normally gives money to implement innovative things, okay? And we are trying to obtain also a help from the government to implement this, also here in Spain, okay? And I was with our Ministry of Energy and Industry last week, and he asked me for a letter explaining this model, and perhaps they will open for the next year a percentage of the total budget to increase the profitability in the medium-sized companies in the country. Because to implement this model in medium-sized companies, increment the professionality, at least the professionality of the purchasing function in the company, you know? So this is something very easy to sell, okay? Also, we have had relations 3 weeks ago with the president of a very important foundation here in Spain related to the Caixa. It is a bank, a private bank, La Caixa, and also they are very interested in this certificated process because, as you know, in this month will be issued the new ISO of sustainability purchasing. Okay, do you remember that we IFPSM decided not to interview, but I think Netherlands from IFPSM was in several meetings, and I am the president here in Spain of the translation into Spanish of this ISO, you know, and we have finished this translation with my colleagues from Colombia, Mexico, Argentina. We have finished 1 week ago. So in this year, in this month, we will issue to the world the ISO of sustainability purchasing. But what happened? That this ISO cannot be certificated by any certification body. It's only a guide, a guidance to follow. Okay, so if a company wants to obtain something from a certification body saying that they follow also the ISO of sustainability, purchasing sustainability, the only way will be through our standard, because we can include in our chapter 10, of our standard, the requirements of this ISO. So a company can also obtain the requirements of the ISO through our standard. And this is why these foundations want us to be with us to promote this into the companies, okay? Because it will be the only possibility that companies go through this ISO of purchasing sustainability, okay? So this is a lot of possibilities that we have, okay?
So what is the next step? Because I'm conscious of people's time. What is the call to action? The next step that you ideally would like to see from the people who are on this call and also when
Yes.
we circulate the recording of the webinar?
Yes, it is very easy. It is officially the president of the association must send through IFPSM, I think Malcolm is the best, a letter saying that they want to share the model of IFPSM with AERCE, okay? A letter with this. And then this is to officialize this. And then we will give to them possibilities from the extreme, only to use the electronic tool in the Congress, for example, or to the other extreme, it is what I have showed, all the model, completely all the model, the business model, because we can do it directly this year. We can do it this year, okay? And then receive income, for example, with Portugal, the Association of Portugal must do it quickly because these consultant companies in October, they will obtain the degree of experts and they will begin to do consultants with our tool in companies in Portugal, and they will begin to pay for using this tool. If we have not signed this with the Association of Purchasing, we will not be able to give to them these incomes. Okay, so the first step is that the association interested send a letter through IFPSM to AERCE saying that they are interested, and then we will give to them a draft contract just to begin the model.
May I have one more clarification question? That how can you ensure that a consultancy company or the certification body leaves out the experts saying that, oh, I have the knowledge to prepare the company for this audit?
The consultant company, they are forced to be sure that they, okay, if they want to sell this certification to one company, they must have experts. If not, they cannot do it.
And
so they are forced to come to us. Sorry?
Where is it written, or how is it ensured? Is it written in the certification that you have to have an expert trained by the AERCE?
It is, well, the expert will not be of AERCE, but will be from your association, okay? If we have the agreement, remember this, okay? Will be an expert prepared by your association, okay? And why the consultant company wants to have expert? Because this is a model very profitable for them for everlasting, because if they have expert, the expert form part of a group of experts, and we will give to them the guidance to the update of the correct interpretation of the standard. Every 2 or 3 years, we change the interpretation of the standard. For example, in your country, you say electronic companies have decided to use an electronic tool for doing this kind of purchasing. We could ask, in the correct interpretation of the standard, we could ask that the certification body ask to the companies to use certain tools related to this, okay? So the consultant company must prepare the companies to use this kind of tools. So they are always interested to obtain from us this degree, okay? Because if not, the company will not be sure that they will obtain the certification or the correct interpretation of the standard, okay? And the same for the certification body, because the certification body auditors, if they want to use IFPSM that they have issued, this certificated, accordingly to IFPSM interpretation, if they want to put this in the certification, they are forced to have experts.
But otherwise they don't need.
No, otherwise they cannot obtain this, obviously. And it is, if you decide to do your interpretation, okay, you can do it, but it is only a very high level. The wording of the standard, it's very, very high level. There are no questions, there are no interpretation, there are no changes, and so on.
Quite a general material, yeah, I remember.
For example, this ISO, this new ISO doesn't appear, obviously, because it didn't exist, of course. or requirements of quality, or requirements for the outsourcing, and so on. Depends on us.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Mark.
Yes.
Yes. Well, it sounds very interesting, but I'm not sure whether I'm missing some information. Have you sent over some written material about it? Because basically, what I believe is really the question whether the standard gives value to the company who is sort of certifying themselves. So this is the core issue. I'm also sort of referring a little bit to the, let's say, it's a different thing in the ELA, European Logistics Association, what they have certification programs. This is merely for regarding individuals. But are you able to send some written material? Because I think we could have a proper platform for even starting implementing this in Finland. But certainly we need to study it more properly. And this is very bad period, because in Finland the summer holidays are starting this next week or the week after that. So nevertheless we need to revert during August.
Okay, I will send you these two presentations, but only take them like draft. Okay, like draft. Okay, and also I will send to you some articles that we have written explaining this. And take into account, normally a company that decide to go through our standard obtain revenues between 6 and 15%. Okay, because one of the most important things that we ask, when I say we, it's IFPSM, we all together, you don't know, but we are doing this, is that we professionalize the purchasing function, okay? And we are sure that we maintain this professionalized, because this standard is not like the ISO, it is much more strict, okay? For example, one company in Spain was the first company in the world to obtain this standard, but also was the first one to lose it. Do you know how many companies has lost the ISO of quality? No one. This is, our standard is really good one, because comes from the original standards after the Second World War. When we created this in Brussels, we were very sure that we want to come back to the origins. That's why, for example, Bankia, the first banking system here in Spain, the president decided to obtain this standard and to take out the ISO, and they forced to obtain this standard, because this standard obliged them every year to demonstrate revenues, real revenues, and it is what we do in purchasing. That's why, okay, we can send to you. We have written a lot of articles every time here in Spain. Nearly in every magazine we do, we write articles about this, okay? And a lot of companies are asking us to give conferences about the standards. For example, Inditex, Zara, they are now preparing. They are preparing because they want to obtain the certification of one of the companies they have this year, and to extend it to the next years to the other companies, And that those companies, some of them are in your countries. Is what I say, that will be there with you or not, but we'll be there, sure. It's a question of time, okay? And something important for the logistics, that take into account that our standard doesn't include logistic, okay? Because we decided, IFPSM decided not to go against our logistics friends, okay? But if a company wants to include in the standard the logistic, they can ask for that. But we don't include it officially, okay? That's that it is a very good merger with the logistic associations in your countries. In our countries, we are together, but in other, we could be difference. We don't go against them. They can be with us. We can go with them.
Jose, can I suggest that if you send me the
Okay.
information that you've just been describing, I will circulate it. I'll also circulate this recording of the webinar.
Okay.
And not just to the people who are on this webinar, but also to the whole network of IFPSM.
Okay.
And then hopefully we'll get some positive reaction where people want to explore it further. And I think Marco's right. I think we need to understand what the benefit to the organisations who will submit an application for the standard and go through the training and the preparation for the standard. Because if the associations are going to promote the standard actively within their own countries, then we need to make sure they've got the right marketing material and collateral. So I think if you use me as a post box, it'll make your life easier, and I'm here to do that sort of work. So that might be a good way of going to the next step.
Okay, very good.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
So
thank you, Anita, for listening to me. Thank you, Next, and thank you, Plan.
Thank you. Bye.
And thank you, Marco, for interrupting your holiday.
No.
And I'll be in touch with you all very soon. And thank you,
Okay.
Ozzy, for being
Marco, hello.
such a reporter. Thank you very, very much.
Okay, bye-bye.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, Marco.
See you.